afternoon. Today is the 20th of December and welcome to a new series of very vague vlogs. These aren't really edited. I don't exactly know what we're going to talk about when I start them, but these were something which during the first and the third lockdowns we had actually proved to be quite a sort of popular thing that we did. And so first of all, for channel members from the Seat Toledo and Rover 45 V6 levels, and then later in 2022 these will be a regular feature of all the weeks that will be on the channel. It's just the channel members will see these first. I don't believe myself, and there are quite a few other people who have channels on YouTube believe this as well, that content should be behind a paywall. I think that's absolutely fine to have early access for members, to give them a sort of perk for their kind support of the channel. But if you don't want to give to a channel, or you can't give to a channel, and both of those are completely fine by me, then I believe that all content should eventually be released, and this will be no exception. You will see this at some point in the future, unless you're a channel member of those two upper tiers, in which case you'll be seeing it very soon after this has been recorded. It's been a sort of funny time over the last few weeks. We've actually been doing quite well in terms of getting the channel content prepared, and we've got stuff right the way through until the first week of January now, actually. So that's obviously a good thing for all concerned, but it is, hard work doing all that. There was one weekend where I filmed 7 videos in one weekend, and then I think between then and the next Saturday I filmed, if I just get this right, I filmed another, I think it was actually 8 of them, so 15 videos done in the space of a week, which is pretty crazy. But you all know how things go about this time, because not only is it Christmas, and for some of you that will be a joyous thing, some of you will be a little bit stressed by that thought. It is also at a time when, in this country at least, we could potentially be heading into another sort of period of restrictions, and that might happen, it might not at this time. We don't actually know. Obviously, if you're watching this in 2022, then you'll know exactly what has happened. But as the Apostle Paul once said in one of his letters, he said, "I've learnt to be content in all circumstances," and I'm hoping that, whether we have to go into another lockdown or we don't, but I'll just take those words to heart, and I'll be able to say that I'm going to remain content in all circumstances. Obviously that's a difficult thing to sort of say for many of us, but I think I'm going to have to rely upon those words. But for today, my lady wife and I are on the way to my mother's house. We need to do some bits and pieces for her, and yes, we've just caught on camera a lorry almost taking out a Mini Countryman officer. We do actually have one serving police officer at least who watches the channel, so answers from him and other people as whether or not that looked a little bit silly. But there we go. So it's not a particularly sort of interesting sort of visual, just give you something to watch whilst I'm driving, and this hopefully gets reasonable audio if I turn the camera this way around. This is where we always used to do the very vague vlogs. The mount's in the way, because it always is. That's just the way it goes on this channel. Taking the Rover today because it hasn't had a run for a few days, and although the fuel consumption of this thing is not that good, we do very much enjoy driving it. My lady wife sometimes takes us to work actually as well. There will be a full ownership report over the last 10,000 miles we've had this car. We got it actually exactly 18 months ago this month, and it's come 10,000 miles in it. There's not a lot else to say, but I'm pleased to say that marks the first ever sponsored content on the channel. It it's not a traditional sponsorship in the way that there is like a sort of code for people to use, or you know, I'm being given money, because I'm not being given money, but because of the rules concerning advertising on YouTube, I have to declare it as paid promotion. I actually didn't have it sort of thrust upon me. I actually asked the company concerned if they'd be able to help us out, and that's what we agreed to do. So you know, more will be explained in that video, but a lot of people do ask me sometimes how this car's doing and what's happened to it. It's a very comprehensive report actually of all that stuff. I had to add some captions in because I'd forgotten all the work that's been done on it, but that's all done. As I mentioned previously, we have things that you might have already seen depending on when you see this, whether you're in 2021 or 2022. Lots and lots and lots of reviews, tweed jacket reviews, no budget reviews. I've actually got some filming that I'm scheduled for next week, 2 cars are scheduled for next week, and actually I might be able to nip in and do one this very week, just before Christmas. I might be able to do one of those as well. And at the moment, anything that I am offered that's local, and a couple of them I'm doing are local, are very, very handy for different reasons. Also, we've got special shambolic shuffles, a pair of them. I know how many of you seem to love that. It's really interesting how the shambolic shuffles of all content of the channel this year seem to be some of the most popular of all, which I find very fascinating. I don't quite know why, but that's all right with me. Also, Tweed Jacket Reviews is back. There is a special Christmas episode, but there is also one that will happen when we hit 5,000 subscribers. It could be that if you're watching this in 2022 and you're not a channel member, or rather you're not on the right level of channel membership, that actually we still haven't hit 5,000 subscribers, so that content might actually not be released yet. I must say I did very much enjoy filming that episode, and I do hope we get to release it at some point and hit that mark. Also, sensible second-hand reviews and sensible second-hand classics. I've done a lot of those this month, and I do hope you continue to enjoy them. One thing I sometimes say about sensible second-hand reviews is a lot of you, don't seem the most enamoured by that in comparison with review types, but they are very, very much done because those are the typical sort of cars that I have sourced for clients over the course of many years, within that price bracket, £1,000 to £5,000. I don't tend to source classics actually, although I love classic cars. I tend to source from normal cars. And somebody once asked me a long time ago now, I think it was about 18 months ago, that I should do typical cars in a price bracket that I would source for the majority of clients, and so that's what I've done, and I think I will continue to do it, even if the figures that I get from them aren't like the best comparison with others. I will continue to do it because I like to have a fair representation really on the channel of what my work as an independent vehicle consultant actually is, and this is really one of the ways that I can show that. And at the moment with these funny second-hand car prices, things have altered a bit, but you can still buy a very nice car for £5,000. In some cases you can buy a perfectly adequate car for £1,000. So these represent different points in the market. Tweed Jacket Reviews, we go for some really nice cars, brand new cars, valuable classics, and sometimes some other stuff, but that is the way the formats work. And we do push the boat up with Tweed Jacket Reviews, but don't do too many because they do cost a lot more to make, and they are not filmed by me, they are filmed by by someone else, which means hopefully they are better quality than the things that I do myself, which are no budget reviews and sensible second hand reviews on classics. Anyway, I think that's absolutely plenty for this first very vague vlog in an awful long time. I don't even know what number this is. I will put the number down on the thumbnail and in the title. Oh, I've just seen a 2002 Ford Puma. That's interesting. That'd be a late registration because production finished in 2001. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed for watching. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, then it'd be wonderful if you could do that. You also maybe consider becoming a channel member if that's something you want to do. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. Most of the sort of income and reach the channel comes from people who just watch the videos, and that's a really good thing by me. Thank you ever so much indeed once again.